All right, so we're diving into hypno vibes today. You know Naomi, right?
Yeah.
A hypnotist who's been kind of blowing up YouTube with her hypno channeling
Oh, yeah, for sure.
technique in this session. She's guiding Jessica to 2026, and things get really interesting.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? Hypno-channeling where someone under hypnosis taps into like a higher consciousness to share universal knowledge. It's like peering into a possible future through someone else's eyes.
Exactly. And Jessica's first observation in 2026 New York City feels totally different.
Oh, wow.
She describes this slower pace of life with people walking slower, almost like everything's in slow motion.
That's where I started wondering what could cause such a dramatic shift in a city.
Right.
It's always go, go, go. Is it some massive societal change, a new tech revolution, or maybe something we can't even imagine yet?
Okay, so then Jessica finds herself in an office with a journalist. He's being super cagey about his name.
Oh, really?
Like, maybe it's Chris, maybe not.
That secrecy really jumped out at me.
Yeah.
Remember how you were saying that you think traditional media is losing its grip? This could be a sign of that information becoming more underground, people being cautious about who they trust.
And the conversation Jessica overhears is even more intense.
Yeah.
They're talking about the food industry, worrying that what we're eating is actually poisoning us.
Makes you think, huh,
Oh, yeah.
about where your food comes from.
Yeah, for sure.
Jessica's vision suggests that by 2026, that concern hits a boiling point. Imagine a world where everyone's hyper aware of what they're putting in their bodies.
Right.
Could this be the trigger for a complete overhaul of the food system?
Whoa, a total food revolution. Okay, now I'm really leaning in. There's another detail.
Yeah.
Tita is there too, transcribing the conversation for a podcast.
Podcasts thriving in 2026? That's encouraging.
I know, right?
Maybe in a world with less trust in mainstream media, independent voices become even more important.
Right.
It's like what we're doing right now, digging deeper, exploring alternative perspectives.
Speaking of digging deeper, Jessica also picks up on this major theme of an energy work.
Okay.
She's hearing people talk about tapping into their creative potential. Like that's the key to everything.
Like the focus shifts from external achievements to inner growth.
Yeah.
Jessica even describes this idea that higher vibrations lead to more energy, almost like we become our own power sources.
Okay, hold up. I'm picturing myself like some kind of human battery.
Yeah.
But seriously, this aligns with what we're seeing now.
Oh, yeah.
Mindfulness, spirituality, self-improvement, it's all about harnessing inner power.
Sure.
Could this be the dominant mindset in coming 26?
It's definitely a possibility, and it makes you wonder.
Yeah?
What if prioritizing inner work unlocks things we haven't even imagined yet?
Right.
Maybe that's the true next level.
Okay, so now Jessica steps outside.
Right.
And the vibe is totally different. It's eerily quiet.
Oh, wow.
Fewer people on the streets. It's almost like everyone's staying home.
Right, and here's where it gets even weirder. It seems like the reason for this shift is a new type of media, something combining technology,
Okay.
human minds, and wait for it, telepathic elements.
Telepathy. Okay, now we're venturing into sci-fi territory.
Yeah, right.
But before you dismiss it as too out there, think about it. Haven't you ever felt like you knew what someone was thinking? Or had a dream that felt prophetic?
There's definitely more to the human mind than we understand what if in 2026.
Yeah.
We've cracked the code on telepathic communication. Maybe it's not as far-fetched as it sounds.
Okay, let's say, for argument's sake, that telepathy is a thing in 2026. What does that even look like? Do people walk around beaming thoughts at each other?
Well, Jessica describes it as accessing a field of resonance, like tapping into a deeper level of awareness, where information is exchanged directly bypassing traditional channels.
So no more social media algorithms dictating what we see. No more fake news. It sounds kind of utopian, but I can't help but wonder what we'd lose in the process.
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
What are the trade-offs? Do we gain a more truthful, connected world at the expense of individual privacy? Is it even possible to control something like that?
These are all questions we need to unpack.
Yeah.
But before we go down that rabbit hole, let's back up for a second.
Yeah.
Jessica also mentioned that protests against traditional media may have contributed to its decline.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
Maybe this shift wasn't just technological. Maybe it was driven by people actively rejecting the old ways of consuming information.
So a media revolution fueled by a collective desire for truth and transparency, that's powerful. But let's be realistic. Wouldn't someone try to control this new system? or exploit it for their own game.
Absolutely, which is why it's so important to explore not just the possibilities, but the potential pitfalls. If telepathic media is the future, we need to be thinking critically about how it's shaped and who benefits from it.
I'm already feeling like my head is spinning with all these possibilities, and we're just getting started, ready to dive deeper into Jessica's vision.
Absolutely. Let's see what else this potential future has in store.
Welcome back.
What?
We're still unpacking Jessica's journey to 2026, and I'm particularly fascinated by this whole telepathic media thing.
Oh, for sure.
It really makes you question everything we think we know about communication.
I know, right? Like, how do you even regulate something like that? Who decides what gets broadcast into people's minds?
That's the thing. Jessica didn't get like a clear answer on the mechanics of it all. She just kept mentioning this field of resonance as if everyone somehow tapped into a shared network of information.
So it's not like there's some central authority controlling the flow of information. That's kind of reassuring, but also, how does anyone find what they're looking for?
Well, she did pick up on this idea that it's tied to personal intention.
Okay.
The more aligned you are with your purpose, the clearer the signal becomes, almost like passion acts as an antenna.
Interesting. So it's not just about passively receiving information, it's about actively seeking it out with focused intention.
I guess that makes sense. We're already doing that now, scrolling through endless feeds to find what resonates with us.
Exactly. But imagine taking that a step further where your very thoughts and desires shape the information you receive.
Right.
It's both exciting and a little bit terrifying, isn't it?
Definitely a lot to unpack there. Okay, so we've got telepathic media, but what about the economy?
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned earlier that traditional money seemed to be fading away. What's replacing it?
Again, the details are a bit hazy, but Jessica sensed that new systems were organically emerging. She kept describing it as a natural exchange of value where people were trading their skills and resources directly.
You mentioned you've been following the rise of cryptocurrency. Could this be what Jessica's seeing?
Yeah.
Like those early experiments evolving into full-blown alternative economies?
It's definitely a possibility. Imagine a world where you're trading your skills directly for the things you need without relying on like a central bank.
Right.
Or a fluctuating currency. It's a radical shift, but one that could potentially empower individuals and communities in a whole new way.
Okay, so we've got this new media, a potential shift in the economy. And did I mention the UFO sightings?
Oh, yeah.
Jessica senses those are on the rise, too.
Yes. And she hints at something even wilder, telepathic communication with non-human entities.
What?
It's almost like humanity is expanding its circle of awareness, connecting with other forms of intelligence out there in the universe.
Well, hold on. Are we talking full-blown alien contact here? Or is it something more subtle, like tapping into a universal consciousness?
That's the mystery. Jessica's vision doesn't offer concrete answers.
Okay.
But it definitely points to a future where humanity's place in the cosmos is being redefined.
Right.
And that ties back to the theme of expanding consciousness, doesn't it?
It's like all these threads are weaving together: the new media, the focus on energy work, the UFO sightings. It's all pointing to a future where humanity is evolving on multiple levels.
Exactly. And it's not just happening smoothly and peacefully.
Jessica describes a period of chaos in 2025. Small fires, people screaming a general sense of unrest.
Ooh, interesting. So it's not all rainbows and telepathic unicorns.
Right.
There's some turbulence along the way, almost like a breaking down of the old before the new can emerge.
Right. Maybe those anxieties we're already seeing about the environment, the economy, the political landscape.
Yeah.
Maybe those reach a boiling point before things settle into a new order.
So a bit of a dark night of the soul for humanity before we reach this calmer, more connected state Jessica is experiencing in 2026. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Sometimes you have to shake things up to create real change.
It definitely challenges the idea of like a linear progression.
Right.
What if the path to a better future isn't a straight line, but a series of peaks and valleys, breakdowns and breakthroughs?
Okay, so 2025 is a bit of a dumpster fire, but then things calm down in 2026.
Yeah.
But what about the government? Are they just sitting back and watching all this unfold?
Interestingly, Jessica doesn't mention much about government involvement.
What she does pick up on is a sense that people are less focused on external authority and more on their own personal evolution.
So it's not about top-down control anymore, but about individual empowerment and a shift in collective consciousness. That's pretty radical, but what about the people who aren't on board with all this change? What about those who cling to the old ways?
That's a question that lingers in the background of Jessica's vision.
Yeah.
She sees a quieter, more introspective world, but there's a sense that not everyone made it through the transition unscathed.
It's like this vision of the future is both hopeful and unsettling all at the same time.
Yeah.
There's so much potential for positive change, but also this undercurrent of uncertainty and even a bit of fear.
That's the paradox, isn't it? The unknown can be both exhilarating and terrifying.
Right.
But maybe that's the point, to embrace the uncertainty, the mystery, and trust that we'll find our way through it together.
I think you just nailed it. This isn't about predicting the future with certainty. It's about acknowledging the vast possibilities and choosing to approach them with curiosity and courage.
Absolutely. And on that note, I think it's time to shift our focus to the most important question of all. What does this all mean for us here and now?
Yes, if this is even a glimpse of what might be coming, how do we prepare?
Right.
How do we navigate these changes, not just as individuals, but as a collective?
Let's dive into that in our final segment. Stay with us.
Okay, we're back, and I'm still processing all this information from Jessica's 2026 trip. It's a lot to take in: new media-shifting economies, UFOs, and a whole lot of personal growth.
It really challenges you to re-examine your assumptions about the world, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it raises a crucial question. If this is a potential future, how do we navigate it?
Right, because it's not all sunshine and roses, is it?
Yeah.
Remember Jessica's vision of wealthy people fleeing the country,
Oh, yeah.
afraid of facing consequences.
That detail really stuck with me, too. It suggests a potential power shift, a reckoning with systems of inequality that maybe weren't addressed soon enough.
It makes you wonder, what finally tipped the scales? Was it this new media revealing hidden truths and holding people accountable? Or was it something more organic, like a collective awakening of consciousness that simply couldn't tolerate those injustices anymore?
It's hard to say for sure, but it highlights the potential for both positive and negative outcomes in any future scenario.
Right.
Greater transparency could lead to a more just society, but it could also create chaos and resistance from those who benefit from the status quo.
So how do we prepare for a future where the only constant is change?
Well, for starters, we can pay attention to the trends that are already emerging.
Okay.
Jessica's vision is like a magnifying glass on what's already brewing concerns about food systems.
Right.
The search for alternative economies, the desire for more authentic self-expression.
So it's not just about passively waiting to see what happens. It's about actively engaging with these trends and shaping them in a direction that aligns with our values.
Exactly. If you're concerned about food security, maybe you start exploring local food systems.
Right.
Growing your own food or supporting sustainable agriculture.
And if this idea of telepathic media resonates with you, maybe it's time to start paying more attention to your intuition, exploring mindfulness practices, or even experimenting with energy work.
Remember, Jessica's vision highlights the importance of inner growth and raising your vibration.
Yeah.
What if those personal practices are actually key to navigating the changes ahead?
Okay, I have to ask, what about the UFOs? Should I be building a bunker in my backyard?
Right.
Learning to speak intergalactic?
Well, Jessica's vision doesn't offer any concrete advice on how to greet our potential extraterrestrial neighbors.
Okay.
But it does suggest that our understanding of the universe and our place within it is about to undergo a massive expansion.
Maybe instead of fearing the unknown, we can approach it with curiosity and a sense of wonder. Who knows what incredible possibilities might be out there waiting for us?
That's the spirit. Remember, the future isn't something that just happens to us.
Right.
We are active participants in its creation.
Yeah.
Every choice we make, every action we take, contributes to the unfolding tapestry of possibilities.
Wow, that's actually a really beautiful way to think about it.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest takeaway for you from Jessica's journey to 2026?
For me, it's a reminder that change is inevitable, but it's not something to fear. It's an opportunity for growth, evolution, and the creation of something new and perhaps even better than what we can imagine today.
And if anyone's feeling inspired to explore these ideas further, I highly recommend checking out Naomi's book, The Next Level You. It delves deeper into the concepts of hypno-channeling energy work and raising your consciousness.
Yeah, I think that's a great resource for anyone who's feeling curious about the potential of the human mind and the possibilities of the future.
Well, this deep dive has definitely left me with a lot to think about and maybe even a little more courage to face the unknown.
Remember, the future is a blank canvas. Let's paint it with our hopes, our dreams, and our unwavering belief in the power of human potential.
Beautifully said. And until next time, keep diving deep, everyone.
I like to take Jessica's conscious awareness to be in about 20 months later, maybe just here New York City or someone or anywhere else to see what is going on in that time. And when I count to 3, 1, coming, you are be able to be there, going through time and space. 2 and 3.
It's a lot more calm.
Oh, me more.
Everything seems to be at a slower pace.
Yeah. People even, let's say they walk also slower.
Something like that.
Where are you?
In your office.
Oh, office.
Yes.
Okay. Let me know what you're doing.
I just came.
Oh, the reason?
They're not showing me too much.
Okay, see, maybe we can get some sense. There are people in the room.
There's a man.
Okay.
It's Chris. He not sense very well.
Okay. Me more.
But he's been working with you for around 5 months.
Okay.
Like writing something. He's writing something for you.
Writing. Okay. What's that something is for?
I don't know.
You can talk to him.
Something about elevating your own consciousness.
So, yeah.
He's some kind of journalist with some kind of newspaper.
Oh. Newspaper. We still use a newspaper.
You're digital.
Oh, okay. You, this Chris and me?
Maybe it's not Chris. Maybe it is. I cannot see the face very well.
Can you ask him what his name is?
He's not supposed to tell. It seems like we're having a conversation.
Yeah. About.
He wants to interview you for something.
So that's why you came to the office. We talk together.
Something like that.
And listen to what we're saying.
We're talking about the food industry, then talking about eggs. We're talking about how the food is poisoning us, how there needs to be a change.
So can you tell me the month?
It's not cold. I'm wearing a sweater. Kind of sunny. It's like something degrees.
Okay. This is 26.
Something like that.
Okay.
Something like August.
Okay. Talk about the food because we have been doing this for a while, or just because this journalist?
It just happens to be the conversation.
And so this man, you're not sure if you know him?
No. And then Tina walks in.
Oh, tell me more. Why she's here?
She's transcribing the entire conversation.
Transcribing? Oh, or putting, yeah, the like a recording.
Right, and then she said going to make a podcast of this.
So, yeah, you feel that maybe you can be
And then now we're talking about energy and how to generate more energy, how to create.
Create.
Yes.
How do we do that?
By tapping into our creative potential.
Energy can be created, or you
Yes.
just, how to say, discover.
In a way, it's generate energy by shifting our vibration. So there's more energy work. The higher, I guess, your vibration is, the more energy is being generated into the field.
Is that more like you're collecting more energies when you shift your awareness?
You're creating more high vibrational energy.
Then what you can do with that?
Because you can embody it, you can help others
In what way?
when you carry it. So when you interact with people and give them your entire full heart,
So let's say without talking to other people, they
you have
still
to talk.
because that's the way to send energy out.
Yes.
What else you are aware? You can be also outdoors. There's any unusual things?
It's very quiet.
So do you know why?
Don't know.
You are not on the street.
Less and less on the street.
So because
Do not see
they're at
why.
home, they're at work,
I cannot sense why.
where something happened.
Probably something happened.
So let's go back a little bit when that happens. Let me know what you feel
There was an announcement in the media,
about that.
but it's a different type of media. It's a new media.
The name,
Not letting me know. Not existing at the moment.
right? But it's something from us, from human.
It's a mix. Could be the hybrids. This new technology,
Yeah.
both traditional media and telepath.
Okay. There's an announcement. Tell me about that.
I'm not allowed to see more.
This is people perceive this message.
I get the sense that there was a protest where people stop wanting to consume traditional media.
Because of that, why everything becomes quieter.
I don't know. People are not doing as much.
They're not buying.
It could be. The MTA runs less and less frequent.
Because people are not going to work.
I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah. You can observe a little bit more about what is unusual, what is different, and or pay attention to if you see any hybrids.
They don't exist physically on the street. They have already integrated themselves in terms of communication.
Oh, they do that?
Through the new media.
Oh, so this new media is something that we can receive telepathically. Some people.
I don't know how to explain it.
Try.
It's something that you have to feel.
You can hear?
Yes. You have to tap into that field of resonance.
But how did we learn that?
Not sure.
Yeah, people
who are doing what they really like to do automatically are connected.
This is just a year later from now.
Well, there was a lot of chaos.
Happened 25?
Something like that.
Like you see?
There are a lot of small MTA fires.
Oh.
On the street, people sometimes go a little crazy.
Doing what?
A lot of screaming. Some of them cannot take the news.
How is the government?
People are paying less and less attention.
They are paying attention to
themselves, elevating their consciousness.
So how is the economy?
Very broken, very different.
Tell me more.
People are becoming less and less inclined to use money.
Okay.
Not getting any more than that.
They're not using money.
There seems to be other different systems.
And do you know how this system was built?
It's something that just came naturally.
Not using money to purchase it, not
only money.
House.
See.
And so what you will be doing that time? I know you came to my office, but
a lot of it is like energy work. How to, they're also not showing.
You live at the same place?
I cannot sense very well right now. I feel like it's because we don't know. Future's not really set.
But what, anything, you already described a lot. What else you can sense?
More and more UFO sightings.
People just can see anything more than that?
People can see it.
And any interactions? They're not ready. I mean, human or the
humans are not ready yet.
There's
meaning physical interaction, they're not ready yet. But a lot of the interaction or contact happens on a more of a telepathical level. So sometimes even through dreams or meditation, because people need to be more in touch with their internal side for contact to really speed up. So
a lot of people in their dreams are maybe doing things.
Their dreams, or they're lucid dreaming, or they're meditating.
That's very good to hear, but just a little bit hard to believe because right now it's just a year earlier.
It's 2026.
So in 1 year, a lot of things will happen.
Maybe like a year and a half.
Okay.
Consume less food. They consume less in general. Buy less because some people don't have a choice.
See. And can you see what happened to people who are having a lot of money?
A lot of them have flee to other countries.
For
or
what reason?
Tried to be in hiding.
Because?
A lot of how they got to where they did, they were not totally honest. And that is being brought into the light.
And they're afraid
yes.
that there will be some sort of
or consequences for them.
See. And any hybrids that you can see in
not physically.
Good. I think that's all we can know at this point, and I will bring you back